All right, this story is certainly one of those stories that we don't need in our society, but unfortunately is a reality. We've got in studio with us, we've got the author of the book, Grizelda Grootboom. Now, growing up as a happy-go-lucky child in Woodstock, Cape Town, the life of Grizelda Grootboom took a turn when her grandparents died and she had to go and live with her married mother in Khayelitsha. And between the ages of 9 and 18, her life went back and forth from living at her mom's house to basically living under a bridge. And then, of course, moving to foster homes. The ultimate was when she arrived in Johannesburg at the age of 18 to be sold as a sex slave, introducing her to the life of prostitution and drugs. She has since written a book called Exit. It's for women who want to exit sexual slavery and prostitution. Grizelda is in studio with us this morning. Grizelda, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is quite a story. It really is quite a dramatic story that it's almost the underbelly of a world that many people may not know is massive here in South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Human trafficking is, the largest new crime happening, and there's a lot of people profiting from it, and a lot of losses is always the girls that's been sold in it. So it's been ongoing for years and years, and it's just the new modern slavery that's been happening in our country.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about your story, because I think, as we said at the beginning of it, it's your story which is quite incredible. But I think the most incredible part is that you're here and you're telling it, that you've gotten through the story. So you moved from your childhood home at the age of 9.
Yes.
And then you moved to your mom living in Khayelitsha. And it was at that time that you were unfortunately sexually assaulted. You were raped then. It
was then when I think everything kicked into me that this is what my future is all going to be about, but also just trying to get out of it, because I was very excited to just find a home, but then my mom had her own challenges and she didn't accept me at all. And when I got gang raped at that age in the community, and not just that, just noticing the community was thinking it's my fault because I am from another town and this is not my town, and my mom blaming me on it. I didn't waste time around it because I've already gone through so many emotions. I just joined the rest of our generation, which is in Woodstock, staying under the bridge in Cape Town. From there, going from one shelter to another, getting very used to the tinners, to the glue, to the drugs, and that was one thing that we were taught on the streets. It's like, to stay alive you need to be high, and to stay awake, and that's what happened. And just being at the shelter until the age of 18, when you turn 18 you're overage for it, so you need to go, and that was just next challenge to a next one. And from there, putting my hands into trusting somebody that we thought it was a good relationship around what we used to think. If we smoke drugs together and I don't do anything stupid to you, that's loyalty, but it didn't work out like that. And she came from a great family, but then I found my way to Joburg and trusting her, and then that was it. It was just...
Yeah.
And
you arrived actually having found
2
that
weeks
you'd been sold.
Yeah.
You'd been sold into the sex slave trade.
Yeah, it wasn't even a waste of time for her. It was just like get in the house, and the next minute, 3 guys walked in, and that everything took place from there. Drugs every second or third client in the 2 weeks, and I just started counting.
I mean, you were locked. From what I'm reading, you were locked into a room with friends at knife point and empty I mean, it's stuff that nightmares are made of. It's like, were you constantly high at the time? Did they keep on feeding you drugs?
Yes. Every time they come and give you another drug, it's always like, wow, you did great the first time. The clients are so happy, and it's always the morning or the evening, and that's how I started counting who's coming in and who the person is, and just going into that numbness of the drug, and then something happens. I think my senses would only come back in the early hours of the morning, and that will be the moment where I feel that I can breathe in my heart, and then from 10 to 9 in the morning it happens all over again. And then after 2 weeks it just happened to go into forced prostitution, and it from one province to another, from one pimp to another, from one brothel to another, and the industry is just being under another hand of somebody that owns your body, because it was all about drugs and not wanting to feel anything on my skin.
Just numbing the pain. I mean, on an average day, how many men were you having sex with? Do you even know?
No, you don't. But, you know, on average could be 11. Oh. If it's weekends, it's, you know, it's more than that. And it's just the more alive and high you are, the more you go for it. And if your pimp sees you that, and sometimes it would be in-house, meaning you'd be in a brothel or you'd be in a place where you're working more of on a regular basis, and that's where you get exploited most of the time.
And I mean, you don't get money from this.
Oh no.
I mean, this is you're just fed with more drugs to keep you going, and keep you addicted and keep you staying there. I know it's all in it's all in the book, and everybody can read the story. But you know, how many women were around you at this time?
Oh, there were so many. And then, you know, you go through a week and you're like, okay, you're getting familiar with 2 or 3. That's new. But then by Saturday, there's out of that 2 or 3 has passed on or OD'd or has disappeared. And that went on all the time, because that was the only life to life we gave to each other when we are in a makeup room or we are in a room where we're going to be told that we're going to be driven to another club. And then you sort of get excited with that bond. So there has been a lot of women that I got familiar but lost along the way.
Yeah. Just my final question, and I have to ask you, how did you escape? How did you get out of the life?
I escaped losing Summer, waking up in the hospital a month later and still wondering why am I alive. And from there, that was the journey of me being a survivor. Yeah. And it was still hard even back then, because I had to run away from a lot of people.
Listen, this is an incredible story, and not a story that is unfortunately unfamiliar to a lot of young girls in South Africa. It's called Exit. It's in bookstores around the country. You can buy it. You can download it, I imagine, from Amazon and from other online bookstores, and read this story, because it's an eye-opener of note, and you'll understand what's happening on the other side. Grizelda, thank you for your bravery. Thank you for speaking out. And it is wonderful to be sitting in front of you as a changed woman.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's take a break. See you after this.